guys, today we're going to try to make some cream cheese. I've got some fresh milk that we're going to be using from our local milkmaid, and I'm really wanting some delicious cream cheese for some homemade bagels. So first things first, make sure you have all of your equipment, and make sure you have your recipe, and make sure you know what you're doing. This is my first attempt at cream cheese. The only other cheese I've ever made is ricotta, which I did a couple weeks ago. So first we're going to have a scale in a big pot, and we are going to add in 120 ounces of freshly milked milk.
120?
It's super thick. That cream's right at the top because it's been in our outdoor fridge, so it's nice and cold and separated. Fresh milk just smells better, tastes better. You know that it's not gone through the process of being shipped somewhere. It's right fresh from the cow. She does have a Jersey cow too, so it's heavy in cream. We're going to get that 120 ounces in, and then we're going to add in some heavy whipping cream, which is store-bought, and we need a pint of heavy whipping cream. If you've never made cheese before, I suggest buying this book, The Beginner's Guide to Cheese Making. Elena Santagade, I think is how you say it. She's got some great recipes in here. I'm going to keep going through this book this year and trying to make some new stuff. So once we get the cream added, we are going to do a water bath, which is nothing more than putting our huge pot in the sink with some hot water and bringing it up to 86 degrees. When I first got this on, it was, I believe, 47, and it didn't take 15 minutes to get to 86 degrees at all. So 41, not 47. You're going to keep stirring it, every once in a while, just to make sure that the temperature is not just at the bottom, that all of the milk is consistently 86 degrees before we're going to add in calcium chloride, lactic acid starter culture, and rennet dissolved in non-chlorinated water. Make sure you're paying attention to your instructions because all of this stuff I did order off of Amazon, and it's kind of picky how you put it in. You're going to sprinkle it on top. The rennet is a pill, looks like a little pill, and then it's dissolved in the non-chlorinated water. So I did use special water for that. And then you're going to do an up and down motion with your ladle to make sure that that gets mixed throughout. Now what's tricky is the timing on this. After you did this, you had to let it sit for 10 to 14 hours at room temperature. I did put the lid on, and then I put a tea towel over it, stuck it in the corner of my counter, just where it's out of the way in case, the back door opens. We don't want it windy or too cold. And you really just let it sit for 10 to 14 hours. So making sure, I think I put this on at 8 a.m. in the morning. That way I could take it off that night and get it straining. So the way and the milk is separated, you can see that it's pulled away from the sides of the pot. You're going to take your cheese knife and see if there's a clean break. I kind of felt like that was a clean break. I wasn't sure because I've never done that before, but I went with it. And now you are going to use a horizontal motion and slice through the curd with a ladle, separating it into half-inch discs. Easier said than done. It took a little bit to do this, and you can see that the cheese kept spinning. So you kind of want to go in at different angles, make sure you're cutting all the way through and all the way down to the sides. It feels like you're cutting through like a really soft butter. It's not hard to cut through it. It's just awkward because it keeps moving. So I cut on that for a little bit, and then I had a strainer with butter muslin or just a really fine mesh cheesecloth. Make sure you get a little bit bigger than what I got. I got the pre-cut ones, and it wasn't quite big enough, so it kind of made straining it an issue. So make sure you definitely have a big enough piece. I think these were 15 by 15. I'd go like 20 by 20. Put it in my kitchen sink, and a bowl is underneath it, so it can catch all the way. You can see it just kind of pouring in there. The little chunks of cheese in the way look like they've mixed together, but don't worry, they'll separate. You're going to let this stand in a colander with butter muslin and drain the curd for about an hour. So this, I think, was 8 o'clock at night when I started doing this because I started at 8 in the morning. And it strained down for an hour, and you can see that it got a lot of the way out. And then I combined those two. into one. And it's kind of messy. And then I'm going to tie up my muslin to hang over a pot to where it drains all night long, because it says to drain for 8 to 16 hours. I went ahead and did a full 16 hours. They said if you want your cream cheese to have a more of a pasty consistency, which I did. I wanted it to be like Philadelphia cream cheese. Once you see what I mean about the muslin, you need to kind of get, or the muslin, you need to kind of get something that's a little bit bigger than what I had. Still worked though. I just tied it and put a spoon through and hung it over the pot so it would drain. Set it off in the corner and let it drain like that for 16 hours. The next day around 1 o'clock, you can see that it's ready to take it off. I was surprised that it made so much cream cheese, but it really did. It's soft to the touch, but also not like ricotta soft. I'm just going to cut the butter muslin and get that cheese out. Now, they said you can add salt, you could add onions, garlic, sweet, whatever you like your cream cheese to have. I just am going to add salt into it in case I decide I want to use it for some cheesecake later in the week. That's an awful lot of cream cheese, and we're not going to eat that in 1 week. They say it's good for up to 10 days in the refrigerator. Which I guess, other cream cheese is a lot longer, but it's got all those preservatives in it, so this is nice and fresh. I added some salt in, mixed it up. I did use the cheese salt. I'm sure other salt would be fine too. Really neat consistency. It's really neat to watch milk become cheese. Anybody could do it. Just get your recipe, follow along. I made some homemade bagels, which I will be posting in another video, just because I had to use homemade bagels and homemade cream cheese. Salt to taste. You can see how much cream cheese we now have. This cream cheese was really good on the bagel. What I will say, it had more of a melty consistency because that bagel was toasted. So after I took a couple bites, it really kind of melted into the bagel really nicely. It was delicious. Thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. I'll be posting the bagel video later this week. And we will be making some more cheese, hopefully soon. Have a good day, guys. Thanks.